Hi guys. A few minutes late, sorry. 9 minutes late. But it is cold here in Connecticut. It is freezing. I'm actually wearing over my clothes here. I'm wearing my wool cloak that was a gift from a daughter of a Scottish witch. Mother had passed away, and it wasn't something to her taste, but I love it. It's like a wine colored and beautiful hunter green. And it is wool, and it is double lined, and it is so warm, and it's like wearing a blanket. But you can see it's got this really pretty Celtic work here, and it's just wonderful. So anyway, I'm just gonna sit here and quietly freeze. I can't drink any more coffee. I can't handle it. So what is going on? Hey, Gail, Suan, Allie. Okay, everyone is just cold in Georgia. Yeah, so my brother and sister-in-law are in Arizona, and they are cold. It's cold in Arizona. I think it's getting down like 30 at night. That's cold. That's cold for anybody, but it's very cold here. Lisa and Jana, hi. Okay, my hands are. I've got a space heater on me, and I'm still freezing to death. What the heck is going on here? Of course, it's falling off of me because I'm sitting on it wrong. But anywho. All right. Okay, so I don't know if you're all as tired as I am, Suan. I am exhausted. Shop has been crazy busy. Pouring candles, unpacking boxes. It's been wild. So just a reminder that tomorrow is our fair day. I have Pina, Sherry, and Todd here, and in the Facebook feed there is the announcement and their bios, their background, what they do. Pina being my angel reader who does mediumship, Sherry who does a whole life tarot spread based on the 12 astrological houses, and some mediumship if it comes through, they come through. Todd who does a Reiki infused tarot, really very great. I always send people who have self-esteem or self-assurance, confidence issues to Todd, and he will give you Reiki energy if you need it, if that's called for. And wow, it's just been wild. So I'm sure everyone else is experiencing the same. Hey, Gina in Canada, Nicole, Karen, hi, Julia. Things are changing fast. It's extremes, great joy, awful, rug pulled out from under you kind of stuff. People are getting new jobs, and wonderful things are happening. And by the extreme, people are dying, things are falling apart, relationships are ending very fast. I mean, it's fast. It's like, wow, today we were great, and 5 minutes later, we're not so great. You catch your breath. I don't know what to say. That's the energy of this time, and I got to tell you that we're going into 2020 with this energy, this extreme. Are you doing the right thing? No. Well, okay. Well, then it's done. Bye, and you are flung out of a situation. Is this going to work out? No. Okay. Well, it's over. Bye. I use the comparison. It's still a good analogy. Being a child. You got a loose tooth hanging, by a thread. Your mom or dad's like, oh, let me see that tooth. And you're like, oh, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Like, no, I won't touch it. Just open really big so I can see it. And then what do? They reach in and grab it before you can say a word and just yank it right out. And, you're shocked and horrified, but at least it's done. And I guess that's the only good thing we can say about this time is that at least it's done. It'll be over. It's a shocking, awful, and how could you do that to me? I trusted you and let my guard down, and look what you did, but it's over. Okay? I was talking to a young patron earlier, young witch, and it's always fun talking to, that 20, 30 uh, 20, 30 years earlier difference, the younger upcoming crowd. And then being around for 12 and a half years, I mean, I've watched kids go through high school, college, getting married, having babies, buying houses, my own kids, you know. My youngest was 2 when I opened. He's 15 now, 15 and a half. I'll be driving next year. But talking about magic, and she was saying how she had a lot of friends, a lot of family, people that they really were into it. They wanted to talk about it, but they were afraid to do anything. And I said, you know, the fact is everyone wants magic in their life. Everyone wants that. And in fact, I see Gina's here on the feed, every act of will is an act of magic. Everything from how you get out of bed in the morning to how you eat your breakfast and stir your coffee, everything is magical. When you live with intent, everything becomes magic. But I do understand that for especially heavily Christianized people, there is that whole let go and let God idea. The idea that, you know, you are sort of a passenger to your life. And I'm not making fun. If that works, then that's great. Most still long for magic. And so things like the bayberry candles that I make, things for the holidays that are such big sellers that my grandmother lit religiously New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. And they burned from Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. Always had bayberry candles going. So now I pour little tea lights and sell them here. And they make great housewarming gifts, and people love them. Very, very Irish tradition. The full moon wishing powder. That, you know, again, people, that little bit of magic. And I've heard wonderful stories of impossible situations that turned around following a full moon wishing powder manifestation. But where are we? Some of us part company, and she was asking me about the New Age books and the New Age movement in general, and her own disdain for it. And it's not so much the idea, and I cop to having loved the New Age. Well, it came out of California, you know, the idea that we're in the New Age, that so many possibilities, and the age of Aquarius and the awakening time, and this was talked about, and it's a great thing, except it's become so homogenized and vanilla that it's lost a lot of meaning. And you're kind of back to square one with the very Christianized version of I can't get off my mark, when everything's a lesson, to the point that you can screw things up. You can make a big mistake. And it doesn't, you don't have to make that. You weren't fated to make that mistake. You know, nobody is fated to fail. So I think you can tell I didn't rehearse this at all. I think you can kid yourself into believing that everything's part of the grand scheme, yes, but you have some power, some control over that too, more than you might like to admit. So if you believe in deity, if you are worshiping a higher power, then you must believe that deity, however you call him, her, it, knows a little more than you do at the end of the day. And if that's true, then while we're petitioning or asking or praying for something to happen, it isn't necessarily going to happen. This is where I've always said I just can't stand the secret. The idea that you do your vision board and you just ask and you 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 ask. And if you ask enough times, and if you really, really, really want it, well, then you're going to get it. Well, you might get it, and you might not. Sometimes no saves your life. Sometimes no can be the most fortunate thing to ever happen to you. And you know what? I'm going to tell a story that I haven't told up till now before I get going on the cards. And I've held back on this because I think it's hurtful to people who lost children and in a particular event. But here's the story. After my first divorce, I was looking for a house, and I love old houses. You know, the building that we're in here is a 1864 stone building. I love it. I've always wanted to live in an antique house. And I was looking at homes, and my realtor, who owned the real estate company in Milford, was out. Couldn't take me to see this particular set of homes, but he sent one of his office workers, who I knew vaguely, you know, said hi to her, off to look at houses. And my mom was a realtor, so I know what it's about. Anyway, it's about selling houses, basically. It's about, you know, selling homes appropriately and well, ethically. And the first house on the list was this 1700s small colonial. And we pull up to it, and I was just like, oh my God, you know, this is a charming home. We get to the front door, and I'm a sucker for hardware. It was the original door, the original hardware. I was like, oh my God, you know, and she was like very, about it. And we get in, and it was the wide plank floors and the walk-in fireplace. But the kitchen was all Viking with the old cabinets. Oh my God, it was done. It was maintained and updated appropriately and beautifully, and it was a gorgeous home. And I was like, oh my God, I love this place. And she was like, yeah, I can't see you here. And I was like, bitch, you're not supposed to. I'll see me here. And we go around. I'm like, the colors are perfect. I wouldn't even paint. I love what they've done with this house. And she's like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. We get upstairs, and it's just again, more charm, more amazing. Get to one of the bedrooms. There's a closet door, but open it up, and there's a stairway to a third floor, unfinished attic, huge space, vaulted. I mean, I was like, oh my God, I love this house. And she said, it's not the house for you. Now I'm fuming, just furious. Get in the car. Went to go see the other houses. I mean, I was ready to write a check. And they were garbage. And got home, and I just took a moment to just 3 distinct times that I was just over the moon about this house. And she had said, no, not the house for you. I can't see you here. I don't think it's right. And I thought, well, that's just odd. 3 times, you know, to hear it. And again, a realtor, I don't know. And, you know, I took a pass. I took a pass on the house. And I went to kick myself so many times. I wanted to buy a house I didn't even like. And why didn't I get that house? I loved that house. And years really went by. And I want to tell you that if I had gotten that house, I would have been one of the parents outside of Sandy Hook Elementary School. My son would have been in 3rd grade and would have been attending that school. So, you know, sometimes no is one of the best things you could ever possibly hear. And I know people, I'm friends with Scarlett Lewis. I know people who lost children in that massacre. So I've never talked much about that story, but it's always weighed on me. It always weighed on me. So, you know, as a witch, we do our work. Cast the spell, do the conjure, do the work. And then you leave it alone. I always have people coming back, like, can I do another candle? Can I do this? Can I do that? No, stop. Stop. Just let it be. And sometimes the answer is no. And sometimes that's the best thing to happen to you, is to hear no. All right? So I probably won't be putting out a newsletter anytime soon, but I did want to share that story because we talked about it today. And anyway, that is that. I thought that the stress reduction tarot spread, it's a 5-card spread. I shared it online, And so we'll get going on that. I want to see what the comments are here really quick. I feel like I just dropped a bomb and I didn't mean to. Hey, Nancy, Claire. Blessed you, Nancy. Hey, Ray. Okay. Yeah, Sandy, you're right about that. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that day watching that TV and yeah, my husband at the time said to me, is that Scarlett and her mom? Is that Maureen? Like, what? It was a horrible time. Horrible. We just passed the anniversary, and it was the year there was no Christmas here. So anyway, moving forward off that grim topic. If you're looking for last minute gifts, I want to remind you that we do have pendulums, which are usually very well received, and I have some nice pendulum books. So a book and a pendulum, a nice gift. We do have gift certificates as well. And you would think I would at least try these spreads out before I before I do them online. I did not. I've honestly been preoccupied with some of my private clients, and a lot of what's going on. It's just hard to imagine some ridiculous custody battles. And I think most of you know that while I worked for the state, I'm not a big fan of the system. And a lot of my work is to help expedite legal issues. Especially where children are concerned. Okay. All right, so this is the Stress Reduction Tarot spread. Card 1 is the root of the current stress. Card 2 is the healthiest way to cope with stress, with that stress. Card 3 is important lesson to be learned. Card 4 is something that you're not seeing clearly. And card 5 is how to avoid this problem in the future. Okay, ready? Okay, got it. Amazing. All righty, I'm gonna start with Aries. Okay. Root of current stress, the King of Wands. Okay, career mastery, career success. Healthiest way to cope with this stress, the Ten of Swords reversed. In this position, I would say it's about looking about how far you've come in your career. If you're feeling stressed right now, maybe it's time to take a look through the rearview mirror and see how far you've come at this time. Where you at last year at this time? All right. The important lesson that you're learning from this, help me out here, I'm looking at these cards. It's about earning money, King of Pentacles. How to make money, how to be a steward of money. I'm going to say probably how to value your time as money. King of Pentacles, King of Wands. Something you're not seeing clearly. The Nine of Swords reversed. Anxiety. How would I say this now? Anxiety. I'm going to say you're being over anxious because what you want is coming. I mean, you're building on a business. You're building on your career. You're. It looks like you're letting anxiety kind of cloud your vision of how far you've come. Again, it's about anxiety kind of wrecking things, honestly. And how to avoid this problem in the future? The Star reversed. The Star reversed is feeling hopeless, feeling down on yourself, feeling like you can't succeed. When in fact, again, you're looking backwards, your track record for success is there. You're again, the Ten of Swords reversed. Your ability to survive, your ability to come back out of the ashes like a phoenix. I mean, that's the Ten of Swords reversed, is coming back out of tragedy and problems and overwhelming issues. All right. So if career, creativity, moving forward, being not honored, not accepted, recognized in your field is your issue, I have to say that the healthiest way is look backwards, see how far you've come, and maybe you need to relook at how you're charging for your services, what your pay is, how you can. It is upright, the King of Pentacles. It may be time to ask for a raise. It may be time to say it's a good card. It also lets me know that you're probably in the right place. You're probably doing the right thing, and then the recognition and the money is coming. All right, that's Aries. All right, Taurus. Taurus. The root of the current stress is the Devil reversed. Okay, the need to get away from something toxic, addictive, and that is Taurus's shadow. It can be gluttony, greed, overindulgence. Healthiest way to cope with this stress? You can't make this up. The Seven of Cups reversed. It's like step away from the table, step away from the bottle, step away. Clear thinking, don't let yourself become intoxicated. Clear thinking regardless, even in terms of pie in the sky, or be a Taurus. This is one time when earth signs are both struggling in this energy, and yet this is the energy they thrive in, because earth does handle stress normally very well. The Virgos, the Capricorns, and the Tauruses, they do handle stress well. But in the case of Taurus, if you're tempted to crawl into a bottle, that's not the answer. Again, eye on the prize, Taurus. The important lesson you're learning, the Seven of Pentacles reversed. I'm trying to jump ahead here, sorry. I almost want to say if you don't work, you don't get paid. It's almost like you've got to pay attention to your work. The Seven of Pentacles reversed is it's not getting rewarded for your work, but it's also not doing the work that you get rewarded for. I mean, maintaining your high quality, your high standards. And something you're not seeing clearly, the Eight of Cups is that you could walk away if you're not happy with if what you're doing is so stressful that you're tempted to drink or take too much time off, or you're just not showing up. You can leave. You're not seeing that clearly. You don't have to stay in this environment if it's not making you happy. And how to avoid this problem in the future? The Fool. I mean, maybe it's time to start something new. Maybe it's just become too much of a grind. Maybe it's just the environment's too toxic. Maybe it's just not the right place for you to be. Maybe it's time to get a new job. Same field, different place. But the Fool would say the optimism and the courage and to make a change. Okay. All right. Kind of simplistic. I'm sorry, guys. My readings are usually not as, those are pretty blunt. All right. Gemini. The root of current stress, the 10 of Cups reversed. Unhappiness in the home. Okay. The healthiest way to cope with the stress, the Tower. Time to shake things up. Time to make a change at the foundation level. Now the lesson you're learning is the 10 of Coins upright. Now the 10 of Coins is usually money in the home, investment in the home, making money out of the home. It also could be owning a home anchors you too. There's an anchor aspect to that. When you set down roots and well, something you're not seeing clearly, Ace of Pentacles reversed. Now it just may be the wrong, if you're thinking you're happy at home and it's time to sell the house, you may not be seeing that clearly. The Ace of Pentacles would indicate that maybe you can pull your money out of the house. Money to buy elsewhere, move elsewhere. I think the lack of funds before you shake everything up and really do things that can't be changed. Understand Ace of Pentacles reversed. I mean, you got to have money to make a move happen. And it does look like the home itself is secure. The 10 of Pentacles, there's an aspect of security there, or security that you want. How to avoid this problem in the future? The 7 of Wands reversed. Now, if I was just the short version of this, really would be the 7 of Wands reversed is an end to conflict, an end to fighting. So you're not happy at home, and you're shaking it up, and you want change, and you want things to be different. Can you afford for things to be different? Can you afford to make a change? Can you afford to move out? If there's fighting in the house, like if you're living in your parents' home, and it's just fight, argue, I'm not going to take this anymore. Well, maybe you need to stop with the conflict, because I don't see you able financially to move out. This would be like starting a home renovation project, and the money's not there to finish it. So the lesson really is, I mean, if it's about conflict, just stop. It feels more like it's about fighting and arguing, honestly. The 7 of Wands reversed is a ceasefire in conflict. But again, I wouldn't jeopardize the financial security of the home, even at the moment you're not feeling happy in the home. There's a right and a wrong time to do everything, and this isn't the right time to sell or be looking for a new place to live. So you might want to suck it up just a little bit. All right. You know, I got to tell a story. So I had two young people came in the shop. I think I've told the story before. I apologize if I'm repeating myself. But that's nice about having teenage kids, and they'll remind you about how you repeat yourself. So they were young, and I was reading them, and they were a couple. They were living home with her parents, very unhappy. And I said, "Looks like you're not getting along there." And they're like, "No, we're not." And he was it was her parents. They're living there, but he was very vocal. And he said, they really think that we're going to tell them everywhere we go, and when we're coming home, and when we're going to come back, and we can't play our music too loud. We can't do this. So many rules. I'm like, really? Like, yeah. And we're really not happy with it, and they treat us like children, and, we have to come in by a certain time. I'm like, really? Okay. I said, well, I got to tell you, I wouldn't put up with it. They're like, really? I said, absolutely not. I left home when I was 14 years old. I would get the hell out of there right now if I was you. I wouldn't stay in a home that had that many rules for 1 second. And they were like, huh? Like, you heard me. Find a place to live. Don't put up with that shit. And you're like, oh, well, it's not that easy. It's expensive. I said, it is. It is expensive, but you know what? Work 2 jobs. I worked 3, But if you're living under someone's roof, and of course I've got wives who can't put candles out, who can't do certain things. They're paying half the mortgage, working full time, and husbands too. I've got men too, but it's usually the woman who can't put out things that she likes to put on the wall because it's not allowed. And I really struggle with that. But if you are in fact a guest in someone's home, and they put some rules forth, it just seems like you might want to abide by the rules, because financially, you can't afford to not. Never mind the fact that you shouldn't bring upheaval into someone's home, but anyway. And I guess I'm sensitive to this because this month was a month, and last month, November, where a lot of people were abruptly kicked out of their homes. And that's not why I left home at 14, by the way. It wasn't because I wasn't a good kid or couldn't play by the rules. And it's quite the opposite. But I was out of the house young. So anyway, let's move on to, my God, Laura, Cancer. Okay. Cancer, the root of the current stress. Temperance reversed. Things are out of balance, emotionally out of balance. The healthiest way to cope with the stress. The Lovers reversed. And the lesson you're learning is the Emperor. It's not that different than Gemini's in a way. Things are out of balance. And again, I'm looking forward. I'm so sorry. The next 2 cards are wand cards, so I'm assuming this has more to do with work than it does relationship. But the idea of not loving what you do, recognizing you don't love what you do, and yet the lesson you're learning is the Emperor. And it looks like you're in your field. You're working in your field, or you're in your field. You have a job. Something I've seen clearly, the 4 of Wands reversed. It's really not being happy in the home. And how to avoid the problem in the future is the 8 of Wands reversed. And that's not making a snap decision, not making a quick move. Really sitting there thinking about this a little bit. I would wonder if in fact being unhappy in the home was leading to unhappiness in the workplace. I'm just wondering if maybe the reason you're unhappy has less to do with the job and more to do with the fact that maybe people are getting along in the home. The lesson you're learning, though, is the importance of working, is the importance of being respected. I'm not seeing clearly the fact that there's some kind of struggle in the home. The home is what it seems like the problems in the home are actually impacting everything else. And yet again, you're being encouraged how to avoid the problem is don't make quick decisions, don't make quick snap judgments. And I'm wondering, Cancer, if you've got a habit of leaving jobs abruptly, thinking it's the job that's toxic, and ignoring the fact that what you're living with or how you're living is what's really not making you happy. All right? I'm going to do, well, actually, let me see what comments are coming through here. Aries. Okay, I'm seeing some, no, Capricorn has come for a while, Shannon. You Peggy. Okay, so far so good. All right. I'm loving this spread, but I was the same way with last week's too, and I ended up liking it very much. I'm resisting the urge to pull more cards. I'm trying to work with what's in front of me, the 5 cards. All right, Leo. Leo, the root of current stress, the Hermit reversed. Enforced separation, enforced solitude. So it's you choosing to be alone. The Hermit upright is usually a sense of loneliness being inflicted upon you, feeling like you're being left out, feeling you're being left behind. But this is reversed. So you're pushing people away. You're saying, no, I'm going to be alone for right now. The healthiest way to cope with this stress, and I'm seeing the 3 of Swords reversed. Well, I'm going to say in this case, it's going to be acknowledging what's caused you pain, acknowledging why it is that you're choosing to, why you're feeling like you're feeling. That's the best way to cope with this. The lesson you're learning, the 7 of Swords, which is take what you can and save yourself. I always say, 7 of Swords, take what you can and save yourself. Leave the rest behind. So just take what you can from the situation. Remove yourself, which you've done, obviously. The lesson you're learning, the ability to leave, the ability to leave, okay? Something you're not seeing clearly, the 2 of Cups. And the 2 of Cups is usually a friendship that could lead to a romance, but it's the emphasis on friendship. And you know, even while you're somehow enforcing your own solitude, keeping people at bay, oh, there's someone right there that really is your friend and your cheerleader and wants to be supportive of you. And your own anxiety might be preventing you from actually enjoying that. How to avoid this problem in the future? The Queen of Wands reversed. Well, the Queen of Wands reversed is first of all the quintessential female workaholic, but it can be someone that puts work ahead of people. It can be someone who isn't friendly, who's all business-like, who very driven, who's lost sight of what matters. So if you're in fact pushing away anxiety, you might remember, like, it's okay to stop working a little bit and acknowledge you got someone who really does care for you. If you're the one who was so busy working that you ruined a relationship, you might want to reflect on the friendship that was there or that might still be there. And maybe it's time to think about all work and no play is a bad idea. All work to the point that you have lost perspective and you've lost your priorities are out of whack, Leo, then that's another problem too. Or that you were so busy trying to remove yourself from a situation that you now feel like you've kind of left everything behind and very much alone. But I think it's more about not pushing people away, that you forget that you do have friends, or there is some friendship that remains that you're not paying attention to. All right? Leo does tend, like a cat, to, when they're hurt or wounded, to go off by themselves so they can lick their wounds. Everyone knows that cats are like that. In fact, most of us, when cats are at the end of their lives, they tend to disappear into the woods, and they do that by themselves. So, all right, and Virgo. Okay, Virgo, the root of current stress, Page of Swords. That's news of problems, news of illness, news of usually something aggressive. It is communication. It is talk. Healthiest way to deal with the stress? Justice reversed. It's not fair. And just like that story I said where sometimes the answer is no, sometimes shit just ain't fair. And I don't know that you can fix it. It's like you get some bad news and damn. And sometimes the healthiest way is to say, you know what? Life ain't fair. And Virgos struggle with that. I gotta tell you, I have more, it's not fair is something I have heard from many Virgos in readings because they're so ethic driven. Virgos are very much, oh boy, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. They're great in partnership because they understand the idea of quid pro quo in the best way. I'm doing like this to benefit you. You're going to do that to benefit me. So the Virgos are very often the type to be in a relationship where it's like, okay, I'll work 2 jobs. You're going to go to school. You get your degree. Then it's my turn. And of course, we know that sometimes those situations work out where, okay, I put you through school. And now, wait, what? You're leaving me? What? But it was my turn to go to school. Well, we agreed that I would work, and then now we start a family. You change the rules. That's not fair. And Virgos are very deeply affected by that sort of thing. And they unfortunately fall victim to it because they trust. They trust that you're going to do the right thing. Right? Taurus would want something written down in contract form, and Capricorn's like, I'll just take care of myself, thank you very much. Virgos get hurt. All right. Important lesson you've learned, the 3 of Wands. Well, how to move on. How to move on independently. 3 of Wands is creativity, but it's also new ventures, new creative opportunities. All right? Bad news, not fair. Catapult yourself into something different. The important lesson you're learning, the King of Cups reversed. Now, the King of Cups reversed is an anxious, depressed. Sometimes it's an alcoholic because it's cups is liquids. Emotions, it's a man. I'm sorry, that's something I'm not seeing clearly. I apologize. The lesson was the 3 of Wands. Something I'm not seeing clearly, number 4, is the King of Cups reversed. So again, an anxious, depressed, or possibly a man who's drinking. But you're not. I don't think you saw how depressed or how anxious. How to avoid this problem in the future? The Queen of Pentacles. Whew, well, the Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles are money. The Queen of money. Not being dependent on somebody else to, again, fulfill that half the equation. It really sucks. It just really sucks. Making sure that you're locked into something before you invest money, before you invest time. You know, that happened on my cousin. She was married, actually, no, before she got married, she was dating a med student. And she worked and she moved down south because that's when he was in school, and hated it down there. But they were going to live there while he went through his internship. He graduated 6 years of college, was starting his internship, fell in love with a nurse and broke up with her. She had worked and helped support him and pay for the apartment for like 6 years. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. The idea of counting on someone too weak to come through, knowing your own strength, your own ability to just move forward, okay? And avoiding this problem in the future is by maintaining your financial autonomy. All right. Okay, Libra. Libra, the root of your current stress, the Ace of Swords reversed. Okay, so that's just the opposite of Virgo, which was communication. Here it's no one's talking, no one's sharing information. So quite on the information front. Or perhaps you're holding something back, stressing you out. Healthiest way to cope with the stress? The Four of Pentacles reversed. And the lesson you're learning, the Nine of Wands reversed. I'm going to say, not seeing clearly the Six of Cups, which is home, and avoiding this problem in the future, the Queen of Cups. Okay. Root of current stress, lack of communication, people not talking, people not sharing information. So since people aren't sharing information, sometimes for Libra, it's like stop trying to fix it with money. Stop trying to throw money at something, or stop being, what's the word I'm looking for? Stop being coerced or being led to believe that you can fix this financially. You can't. You can't. At the same time, the lesson to learn is to stand down and not go into conflict, and not expecting conflict when it exists. So in other words, if you don't pay for something, let's just say like you've got a grown child and like, oh, I need help bailing out, I need help paying the rent. Well, you've been paying their rent for 6-8 months. They're always coming up short. What would happen if you said, no, you don't have it either? No, I can't do that this month. I can't help you. What would happen? Instead of imagining and writing the narrative, and I use that expression a lot now, instead of writing the narrative on the situation, what if you just said, no, I can't? Instead of just going along with it, I'll just pay for it. Okay, well, there's no problem, there's no problem. Anticipating conflict And yet what I'm seeing is something you're not seeing clearly, the Six of Cups, which is being happy at home, and the Queen of Cups. I'm so tempted to throw more cards. I don't want to. Happy at home. You know, okay, I'm going to say here, maybe the answer is move home then. If you can't afford your own place, move home. Maintaining home as a secure place, maintaining the security of the home, which is to say, you can't pay money out if you don't have money for your own bills, as generous as you might even want to be. Sometimes I'm seeing you not saying no at a time when maybe you should leave, but maybe you say, no, I can't do that. I can't help you. And stop worrying about what that's going to do to the relationship, because I'm not seeing it hurting the relationship. I'm not seeing anyone being angry at you. Offer an alternative, and the alternative is, okay, move home. But yeah, this is about more talking, less sharing. How's that? You know, maybe everyone loves you as long as you're paying the bills or you're picking up the tab, but I'm saying, you know what? And don't worry how it's going to affect people. Do what's right for you and your home. And okay? All right. It does seem to involve a child, honestly, Libra, or someone that you're taking care of. Because the Queen of Cups would indicate how to avoid this problem. Stop being a mother, stop mothering people. All right? How are we doing so far? Is this making sense, guys? Okay, now it's frozen. Hope this thing isn't frozen. Oh my God, everyone's joining in still. Okay. All right. Scorpio. I swear to God, you can't make this up. The root of current stress, the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Not enough financial reward for your hard work, not working in your field of expertise. Yeah, it's lack of financial reward for work, not working in the field you were trained to work in, not having work in that field. Healthiest way to cope with the stress. Three of Cups upright. That's celebration. I think enjoy the holiday. I'm putting a pin in that one. The lesson to learn is the moon reversed, reveal. And something that's not being seen clearly, number 4 card, is strength reversed. I want to say Scorpio, moon reversed next to strength reversed usually is revealing an illness or something that's making you not feel well. So I first of all, from an emotional standpoint and from a mental standpoint, you may need to take a break just to recharge your batteries. It may just be time because you're either going to get sick or there's something festering here. Okay? And I'm saying this because the 5 card, how to avoid this problem in the future, the sun, what could literally be getting out into the sun, getting outside. it's also, how do you view success? And if everything right now, it comes down to you just work, 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 and that Eight of Pentacles reversed, again, celebration, recognizing the fact that you could be working yourself to death, you could be making yourself sick. I've done that, by the way. I personally came to the brink of adrenal failure, working 14-hour days, never charging my batteries. That's what happens. You get sick. Read about adrenal failure, adrenal fatigue. There's two separate things there. A lot of us are in adrenal fatigue. Look it up. It's not a joke. And also, let me share with you my favorite naturopathic site, which is www.earthclinic.com. Adrenal fatigue, adrenal failure. Those two, it goes hand in glove. If you go through fatigue long enough, eventually your adrenals fail. But it's a real thing. All right. I hope it's nothing worse than that. But again, you're being encouraged to reevaluate how you view success. What's a successful life? What's abundance? You know, you have a great big house and you're really happy, but you never have time to enjoy it. If you never get a chance to enjoy your garden, if you never get a chance to be home, it doesn't matter if you live in the Taj Mahal or you're living in a tent. If you're never there, you're never there. When I'm a huge avid gardener. I was did landscape design. I worked for a nursery in Greenfield Hill, and one thing I always did, because I would put gardens in for people who never got to see their garden, never spent time enjoying their gardens. And some of the happiest people I met were people who did go out every day, deadheading their plants out in their garden. And I made a point of always, every single day when I got home from work, taking a walk around the yard, walk around the property, and just looking at what had grown, what had sprouted, what was flowering, what was just every day. So at the very least, get outside, get some fresh air, get some exercise, and at the worst end of things, reevaluate. Because if you're just going to make yourself sick working, then that's probably not the answer either. All right, Sagittarius. Ooh. Okay, so the root of current stress is the Five of Cups reversed. Moving on after disappointment, moving on after regret. Okay, moving forward. Past regrets, past mistakes. Healthiest way to cope with the stress is the Six of Swords reversed. Okay, so Sag is always tempted to, well, run away, basically. Go throw yourself in the next project. Get involved in something new. Jump into the next relationship. Sagittarius is action, fire. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Time to take a trip. Time to go. And these cards are saying, no, no, Sag, stop and really look at this. And I say that because I'm looking at the number 3 card, the lesson to learn, which is in fact the Four of Cups reversed. Know what you really want this time. Don't just jump off into the next situation, the next adventure, the next trip. What do you really want? You're having regrets. You've made mistakes. Things didn't work out. Stop. Stop. What do you want? Something you're not seeing clearly, the Page of Cups reversed. I guess that's your own mental state. Are you depressed? Page of Cups reversed. Are you depressed? Are you anxious? Are you dealing with it? Okay. And how to avoid this problem in the future? The Five of Swords reversed. Stop jumping. Back down. Take a minute, take a break, take a real break. Don't run away from your problems. Know what you really want. acknowledge your role in it, or how it's left you feeling at the very least. And again, deal with it. All right? But it comes down to knowing what you really want before you, oh, I'll figure it on the way. That's a Sag philosophy. Oh, I'll figure it on the way. Oh, I'll learn as I go. My Sagittarius ex-husband never wanted to read the manual. Oh, I'll figure it out. No, read the manual. Really, read the manual. Sagittarius is always quick to gloss over. I'm being broad brushstroke here. Maybe you have a Virgo moon that doesn't let you do that, but in general, Sagittarius fixes their problems by just moving forward. Okay, it's over. Past is past. Oh, the past was like 2 days ago. Okay, past wasn't really past, and you didn't really deal with it, and now you need to. All right, Capricorn. The root of current stress, the 9 of Cups reversed. Someone who's not sharing emotionally, someone who's keeping themselves walled off. And the way to cope with this stress is the 5 of Wands. In this case, hey, be aggressive. Or be prepared for aggression. It's almost like you want information and you're going to demand the information. And even if it's going to start a fight, you want someone to tell you something. Okay? I want you to tell me this, and we're going to have this conversation. If it means we fight, we fight. I don't care. I'm prepared to go to the mat with this. Important lesson you're learning, the 4 of Swords, which is respite, release, relaxation. And the thing I'm seeing clearly in the number 4 position is the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay, so Capricorn, I'm going to say you want to fight, you want to get this out so you can put it to bed, so you can relax, so you can, what you're not recognizing is, I'm not sure if there's any love there. If this person, I'm trying, and avoiding the problem in the future, the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Always looking for the next project, the next thing, the next, because that's what Capricorn does. They build on a resume, they build on a portfolio, they build on their skills, they build, they climb, they climb. These cards have me wondering if the person that's so closed off that you want the information from, either you don't really love them, they don't really love you. So there's an absence of love going on here. And the urge is to, like, again, throw yourself into work. Knight of Pentacles reversed. I don't know that that's the answer. So being prepared for an argument, you want information. It's almost like you're withdrawing your help. If this person's going to fall, they're going to fall. You no longer have the desire to protect them, Capricorn. And a lot of people don't realize how much work Capricorn does their best work behind the scenes. So a lot of people don't realize how much help they got. Scorpio is the same way, by the way. Don't realize that you got where you got because someone was behind the scenes pulling some strings for you, and we'll never tell you. All right? Those are 2 signs that will take you to their graves, Capricorn and Scorpio. The Capricorn, maybe this is someone that you shouldn't do that for. Maybe you need to take a break and let them fall on their face if it's work. Maybe they need to just be shown as being incompetent. But I don't see the value of doing their work for them. Right? Everything you do with an eye to growing and building and doing. But yet the Knight of Pentacles reverse is going to say there's something in this for you financially. There's not financial, and there's not love in it. So what are you doing? What do you want to hear from this person? I don't think you're going to hear what you want to hear. And stand down and take care of yourself. You're not going to hear what you were hoping to hear. All right, Aquarius. The root of current stress is the Three of Pentacles reversed. A little different than the Five of Pentacles reversed, which has more of an educational component. This is just a lot of work without being paid for it. So overtime you're not getting paid for. Maybe you're not commission, you're salary based, but you're not making the money you'd like to be making. Healthiest way to cope with the stress is the World. Do something new, do something that's big, changing your world around. And the lesson you're learning is the Two of Pentacles, which is money juggling. Okay, so you're learning how to juggle money, you're learning how to rob Peter to pay Paul. What you're not seeing clearly is the Wheel reversed, the fact that you're not going to make more money where you are, maybe. The Wheel reversed has you very uninspired by your work. And you're ready for something new and something different. Maybe it's a relocation. Sometimes you can't get a better job where you are. So if you're in sales, there's often confidentiality requirements. You have to leave, get out of a certain distance before you can stay in your field in another job. How to avoid this problem in the future, Aquarius? So the Ten of Wands reversed is the straw that broke the camel's back, is not getting to that point where you're going crazy, where it's just losing it. But with these cards here in front of me, I would think this is someone who needs to relocate. This is someone who needs to either take a trip and get away, or more likely relocate. Or plan your retirement, someplace where there's easier to live and don't need to spend as much money to live. Because it looks like that's what's really at the core. Not making enough money not to buy a fifth car. I'm talking to pay your bills, to take care of things. All right, Pisces. Wow. Okay, Pisces, the root of current stress, death, change. Nothing in these other cards make me think that it's a physical death of somebody. And it's change being thrust upon you, as opposed to death reverse, which would be like you making the change. This is a big change, big path change, big life change. Healthiest way to cope with this stress, the Chariot reverse, slow down. Someone posted on Facebook. Okay, it was a 3 words that you would tell your younger self to help them get through life. 3 words of advice you would give to your younger self. And I said, my advice would be sleep on it. I am one of those people. I make fast decisions. I'm a love-or-hate person. I'm a very extreme person. I'm all in or I'm all out. If I'm with you, I'm 100% with you. If I'm not, bye. I'm not talking to you ever again. I'm that person. I've mellowed in age, not quite so quick with my temper. I am Irish. I'll tell you a few things too while I'm letting you loose. But this is saying, I'm a Pisces myself, slow down. That decision is going to be made today. Sleep on it. Take a minute. It's the holidays. This whole month I've been like, this is not the time to look for a new job. No one hires in December. This is not the right time to put your house in the market. Take a minute. Where do you reflect? Okay, you're looking at big changes? Okay. The lesson you're learning, it's the Two of Swords reversed. Rock in a hard place reversed. Sometimes you got to choose. rock or hard place. Sometimes sometimes you gotta save money and do something or live someplace you don't want to live while you're getting an education. Sometimes you gotta postpone something. Like sometimes if you're buying a house, that's you can't. That's not the wrong time to have a baby. Or changing jobs. Maybe you don't want to get pregnant that first year. If you're trying to establish yourself in a career that you'll do for the rest of your life, maybe you put off starting a family. Or maybe if you're starting a family, that's the wrong time to leave a job that you've been in that has been secure and it's going to be there for you when you come back from maternity leave. And that's it's perspective. And that's what these cards are saying. Like sometimes you got to look at it, both sides of it. And again, don't rush to make a decision. Something you're not seeing clearly, the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is travel, relocation. That maybe your life would be easier if you didn't live where you were living. Maybe you need to think about relocation. Maybe you're in the wrong place. Maybe it's time for a trip or a vacation. Maybe it's time to take some time off. But again, the Six of Swords is travel and relocation. Maybe it's time to take a trip. Maybe it's time for a vacation or a break. Again, slow down. How to avoid this problem in the future? The Ace of Wands reversed. I'm going to say the Ace of Wands upright is creative avenues, creativity, opportunity. Reversed. Pick one. Jack of all trades, master of none. Pick one or two things to focus on, not 12. You can't possibly do 12 things at the same time and do them all well. Pick one or two things. Great example from my own life. I was going to begin filming the Talisman After Dark I've been talking about. Was going to start that tomorrow night. You know what? Terrible idea. Terrible. We're all exhausted. No one's got time. I know Pina was going to stay. It would have been nice if I let her know that I wasn't going to do that before today. But it was a bad idea. This is the week before Christmas. Is not the time to start filming, a piece that everyone's too tired to really think clearly or have time to stay late at the shop after a long day, after we close, when it's so cold and so dark out. We'll do it next month. We'll put it off. Okay, so not getting overexcited or not getting overextended with so many things to do. Scale it back, dial it back. One or two things, again, if you're in school, maybe it's the wrong time to start a new job or leave your job that's going to pay for part of your education. You know what I'm saying? It's about priorities. And you're ready for a big change, or big changes are being thrust upon you, things maybe you didn't see coming, although that's more of a Tower card. Honestly, death really, to me, always, you see it coming. You knew this was going to happen, and here you are. And how you handle it is by just, first of all, taking a minute, taking a breath, recognizing you may have to have your cake and eat it too. That's rock in a hard place reversed. You have to choose the fact that you have to stay where you are, not indefinitely. And again, filling up, putting less on your plate. All right? I'm not sure if I love these for this spread, guys. I hope it was helpful. And we'll look at the comments really quick. I'm not sure if it was quite what I was really hoping it was going to be. Okay, thank you, Yvonne. Okay, Kelly. Hey, Rosemary. Oh. Okay. There's a lot of Scorpios. I know personally of 3 Scorpios personally who are working themselves to death. Insane hours, not enjoying their home. Okay, Sag is on. Okay. All right, well, guys, listen. The next time I see you, Christmas will be past. This energy is going to continue. The January conjunction of Pluto-Saturn, was it January the 11th, the 10th, whatever day it is, that just starts it. This pressure that's going to demand excellence and integrity and authenticity. If you're not being authentic, you ain't going to succeed. It makes me think of a lot of the New Age shops, goddess shops that are opening up everywhere. And I wish everyone success. Anyone's ever called me as opening a shop, I give them great advice. I'll tell you some wholesalers, I'll help you out all I can. But the fact is, anyone who's choosing to go into this line of work, metaphysical work, spiritual work, if you are in it, body, mind, and soul, and this isn't what you want, if you're only there to extract money from people, because we've heard this was a great way to make money, reading cards or, selling stones, and you thought you were going to coast with no background, no life experience, no training, I'm here to tell you that you're not. That you're not. It isn't that easy. It isn't just about pretty stones and tarot readings. It's a lot more than that keep me here in my shop for 12 to 14 hours a day. A lot more than that. And it's going to fail. If someone talked you into taking on a career, all these young people who are talked into going into medical, into nursing, so many kids going into nursing school, but nurses are born, they're not made. So are teachers. Teachers are born, they're not made. You couldn't pay me enough money to be a nurse. I God bless you, nurses, but wow, I just, and I speak from experience. I had hospice in my home. My grandparents were sick and dying, and I had oxygen tanks, and I'm fine with it. Someone I love, but I could never work in a daycare. There's things I just couldn't do it. It's not in me. I don't have the patience or the tolerance or the stomach for it. So if you're not in a place where you really belong, where you're authentically, it could be hard and a struggle. You might have coworkers that are making your life miserable, but if you're in a place where you belong, doing your work, and I always tell people, there's things we can do to help get people to back off at work, but remember that you don't go to bed with these people. You don't feed them dinner. They're not coming home with you. So put it in perspective too. I get what people at work can be miserable and make your life miserable. You're there enough hours. If they're gossipy but before you, if anything, before you jump off of something and say, I'm not going to work here anymore, I'm not going to be here anymore. I had that person that came to my shop. I remember came into the shop, someone that had been for reading, I don't know, weeks and weeks earlier, and sat down, and I threw cards, and she could quit her job. As she said, you told me. Like, I told you to quit your job. She was like, you told me I wasn't happy and I should look for another job. But she was like, quit. I'm like, okay. And she said, so when am I getting a next job? And I'm like, you quit your job without having a job lined up? And she goes, yeah, it was miserable. I just quit. But then immediately, there's a panic, So I'm saying, don't do that. Sleep on it. Wait a minute. Know what your next steps are. This is the wrong time to make quick, off-the-cuff mistakes. All right? Whew, that woke me up. Have a blessed Yule, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, however you celebrate, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy your family. Family is eternal. Family is everything. And family could be your fur family. It could be family you've created versus the family you were born into. But try to be with somebody you love, or be someplace that you love. Life is short. Life is really short. We are young for a very short time. And getting older means we have more time to reflect. We have more to look back on. We have body of history, so to speak. And most of us do well to look back on that before we make big decisions. Spend a minute, reflect, maybe even go into therapy. You can go into therapy briefly. It doesn't have to be a years and years process. And there's our good, and I can give names of some good therapists that respect that, just to talk something over. Or come in for a reading and be validated. If you're thinking this is something I should be doing, see what comes up in a reading. That's what a lot of people do. They're thinking of doing something, because no ethical reader should tell you what to do. But they can say, you're thinking of doing this, it looks good. Remember when I had my interview reading with Andrea, and I had signed the contracts to move the shop to Derby, hadn't told anybody, hadn't told a soul. And she came in, she's from Boston, she visits her family once a month, and she came in, she reads for a couple big places in Boston. She's also a singer-songwriter, but she came in to audition to read at the shop. And when she sat down, one of the first things she said to me was, "Oh, you're moving the shop. I see you've signed papers." I have. And she said, "Looks like it's going to be really positive. You're nervous, but it looks like it's going to be very, very good." And it has been. I've doubled my business since I moved here. So sometimes a reading is just the validation you need that just makes you feel like, okay, all right, it's not just me, you know? All right, guys, blessed holiday. I will talk to you next Friday. And behave yourselves. Get some sleep. Everyone needs their rest. And behave. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.